we will see the Java basics before going to the OOPS concept. In Java we have certain editions. We will see what are all those editions. First edition is said to be Java SE. It stands for Java Standard Edition. This is used in standalone applications. We will see what is meant by standalone application shortly. Next one is we have JEE. It stands for Java Enterprise Edition. This is used for enterprise applications. And the third one is JME. It stands for Java Mobile Edition, and it is used for mobile applications. We will see one by one. So totally you have 3 editions. One is said to be Java Standard Edition, and next one is Java Enterprise Edition, and the third one is the Java Mobile Edition. We will see one by one. First one, we will see what is meant by a standalone application. So this application is nothing but it will be running locally on your computer. Or any device. Next one, here there is no need for internet connection. Internet connection is not mandatory, and here the only thing you have to do is you have to install the application in some cases, and here there is no need for browsers, and it is not particular to any specific platforms. It can be working on any platform like Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. So we will explain one by one. What do you mean by runs locally on your computer? Say for example, I am taking this calculator application. So here this doesn't requires any internet connection. It can work on your desktop because here all the functionalities required for this calculator is built in within this calculator. So this is said to be a standalone application. Similarly, you can take MS Word, like Adobe Photoshop. In Adobe Photoshop, here you have to install the application. So this is the third point we have. So you have to install this application. For all these applications, you don't need any internet connection. Internet connection is not mandatory. Similarly, there is no need for browsers also, and it is not particular to any specific platforms. That is, you can install on Windows, Linux, Macs, etc. So in short, if you want to tell what is meant by a standalone application, standalone application is nothing but it is an independent application. It can run from anywhere. That is said to be the standalone application. Clear? So nothing but here Java is used as the operating language. So here, like, in order to create this calculator MS Word, Java might be used as the backend programming language. So it will be running locally inside your device. There is no need for the internet connection, but in certain cases you have to install the applications, for example Adobe Photoshop. But in certain other cases, it can be a portable standalone application also. That is, if you double click the application will be executing. And here there is no need for your browsers, and it is not specific to any particular platforms like Windows, Linux, Mac, etc. So in short, if you want to tell what is meant by a standalone application is nothing but it is an independent application. It can run from anywhere. So that's why even Java is called as Vora. What is meant by Vora? Vora is nothing but write once, run anywhere. So wherever you can write the Java source code, once the bytecode is executed on any platforms like Windows, Linux or Mac, it can be executed. So that is why it is said to be a portable platform application. Next one, we will see what is meant by your enterprise applications. So enterprise applications can be called as a web-based applications, or it can be called as a client server application also. We will see what is meant by an enterprise application. So here the mandatory thing is you need a client and a server. So client is nothing but it can be your browser. So here what happens, the end user will be using this browser in order to communicate with the server. For example, say there is a person named Sita. She wants to access the internet and find out some informations. So what happens, she is sending a request. So this request will be sent to a server, and whatever the information she is asking for, if it is available in this server, this will be given as a response by the server. And this will be given as the response. For example, say she wants to find what are all the Java tutorials available in internet. So she'll be opening the browser and typing www.google.com. so Google is nothing but it is said to be a server. So here when she types this Java tutorial, so some pages will be displayed. So these are nothing but the response. This is said to be the client server architecture. So the client here is nothing but Sita. So Sita, she is nothing but the end user. She accesses the browser and she trying to find the information Java tutorial. So what happens, this request will be given to the server, and if the sufficient information is found in the server, this will be given as a response to the end user or the browser. This is said to be the client server architecture. We will see how it works. Say for example, we are going to type so here I am going to look for Java tutorial. So what happens, like you have W3 schools like tutorials point, learn Java, Java T point, etc. So this is got as a response from the Google server. Google is nothing but it's a server. The end user is nothing but for time being myself. I am going to search for the information Java tutorial and it is fetching these pages. This is called as the request response architecture. So here Java is used in client server architecture also. Here what happens, the communication will be taking place with the database. Database is nothing but here a lot of data will be stored in a particular place. That particular place is said to be the server, and in our case it is nothing but the Google server. So what happens, Sita is requesting the information and this information is found in the Google server, nothing but the databases, and this from this database whatever the data she is asking for, she is fetched and it is returned to Sita. This is said to be the client server architecture. And here the mandatory is the request can be run in the browser, and here there is no need to install any applications in your desktop. So here the workload, if you seen, it is shared between the client and the server. So here also some cases can be there, like you can have one client communicating with one server, or you can have multiple clients communicating with one server. Say for example, you have three persons, person 1, person 2 and person 3. Everyone is trying to access a Google server for some information. So here three clients accessing the same Google server. So or it can also be like you can have the multiple clients C1, C2, C3, like in any organization you can have these servers S1, S2, S3. So this client can access this server, this client can access this server. So you can have the multiple client accessing the multiple server also at the same time. So this is said to be the client server architecture. So this is a web-based application. Like web-based is nothing but everything will be performed in the browser, and here the client, it should be connected to the server, for which internet connection is mandatory. But in standalone application there is no need for the internet connection, but here internet connection is required. And here there the end user is not going to communicate with any databases, but here the end user is going to collect the informations whatever they require from the databases which are available in the servers. So these are the main differences between the standalone applications as well as the web applications. So if you want to see some more points for standalone applications, I told the calculator, MS Word, Adobe Photoshop, everything or nothing but the standalone applications, or they can be called as desktop GUI applications. What is meant by this GUI? GUI stands for graphical user interface. So in Java you have something called as APIs. API is nothing but application programming interface. We will see what are all those later on. So these APIs will be used in order to build this calculator, desktop, all those desktop applications. So certain APIs are nothing but AWT, it is called as abstract windowing toolkit. Here what happens, you will be having some pre-assembled components available already, like menu, list, button, etc. Say for example, if you want to design this calculator, so these buttons and these menus like view, edit, help, everything will be already built in, and here you have to modify the functional code alone. That's all you have to do. You don't want to write the structure. Like skeleton will be available while coding, we will see skeleton will be available, but you have to change the functionality alone. So these will be available in AWT. And next one, you have a concept called as swing. In swing, this is also, it is nothing but it provides the GUI widgets, and here like advanced elements like trees, like scrolling pan, tables will be available. Say for example, if you take the MS Word, you want to scroll to see the end of the document. In such case, you will having the scrolling pan. So all these elements, like these are said to be the advanced elements, this will be available in the swing. Next one, you have something called as Java FX. It is also used for the desktop GUI applications. So here FX stands for the like effects like visual and sound. So these APIs can be used together to build the desktop GUI applications. In web-based applications, you will have in the web browser as well as the server communicating with each other, and you will have some you will have some network applications also, network applications, as well as you will have the web services. This also will be included in the enterprise applications. What do you mean by web services? Say for example, you are going to design a web page. So in this design, you are going to include a calendar. So if you want to display this calendar, you no need to write the code for this calendar GUI. Instead, some plugin services will be already available, and you can take that service and you can either plug in or you can modify the code and plug in your web page. This is said to be the web services. Say for example, like in banking, using the card applications, right? Like you'll be having the credit card, debit card, all those applications. So you don't want to write for all the banks separately. You have a lot of banks, national as well as private banks. You don't need to write the code separately. Instead, you will be having the web services available for the payment. You can take that service and you can include in your web page. So this is said to be the web services. And third one is obviously the mobile applications, mobile edition, which is used for the mobile applications. Like in Android applications, we can see Java is used. So to conclude, we have three editions. One is called as Java Standard Edition, and next one is Enterprise Edition, and next one is the Mobile Edition. In Standard Edition, it is used mainly for the desktop GUI applications, and Enterprise Edition, it can also be related to the web-based applications. It is equivalent to the client server architecture. And the third one is the mobile application. With this, we'll conclude this session, and in the next session we will see what are all the object oriented programming like OOPS concepts. We have some certain 5 concepts. We will see what are all the OOPS concept in the next session. Thank you.